On the topic of drugs, drug addiction is a big problem in Las Vegas, and we're not just talking about illegal ones like cocaine. Many people, more than ever, are having problems with prescription drug addiction as well. So I'm joined by Dave Marlon from Solutions Recovery this morning. Dave, thank you so much for joining us. This is a really stressful time of year for a lot of people, so this is a very applicable topic that we want to talk about. And as we were chatting before we came on air, you were telling me more people than ever are having problems with things like prescription drugs.
It's interesting that we've been open a little over 5 years, and in our first few years there was the cadre of street drugs that people were coming in to get help for. Lately, opiates, things like Vicodin, Loratab, OxyContin, methadone are far and away the #1 reason people are coming in for drug or alcohol treatment.
Right, and we know about Danny Gans. Steve Wynn has recently spoken about issues he had with pain pills after an injury, and even people like Rush Limbaugh from years back. This isn't something that just affects a degenerate population. You're saying you're getting doctors and all sorts of professionals coming in.
Yeah, it's really a disease, and we treat it like a disease. And this disease does not only affect the lower socioeconomic folks. It affects school teachers and police and everyone.
What is so addictive about pain pills?
It's interesting that as opposed to something like methamphetamine or cocaine, opiates are physiologically addicting in addition to psychologically addicting. So if you become dependent on an opiate, you physically need it, or you'll go into withdrawal and you'll have pain.
What does that withdrawal look like?
Well, it's not pretty. It's things like your skin crawling, your joints and your muscles hurting. Sometimes there's vomiting involved. Most people who go through withdrawal on their own tell me it's the worst pain they've had in their life.
So we want people out there who are struggling with this to know that there is no shame in getting help with this. And there's probably some consequences to staying hooked on these drugs. Tell us, why people need to get help and where they can get help with you.
Yeah, thanks. I usually say that there's no shame in becoming dependent. It could happen from an injury, or it could happen from illegally purchasing drugs. What we encourage people to do is to get help. If you have some other disease, there's no shame in getting cancer. What you should do is get help.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Dave. And we had the information up on the screen. Hopefully you got it. If you have any issue getting that information, feel free to contact the station. We'll provide that once again. Also, we want to know that we'll post it on our website, mynews3.com.